Okay, let's just jump right in. If you own a pet, a dog, a cat, maybe both, you are probably operating under a set of rules.
Rules you've picked up from friends or a breeder or, some internet forum.
Exactly. Rules about how you should train them, what to feed them, what their actions really mean. But what if I told you that a lot of those deep-seated beliefs
The things you just know about your animal companions.
are based on, well, centuries of outdated folklore and not modern behavioral and medical science?
That is the crucial realization, and that's really our mission today.
Yeah.
We are taking a deep dive into the science that just refutes the most pervasive pet myths.
So we're extracting and synthesizing evidence.
Yes, to transform that old folklore into actionable, evidence-based care. The sources we've pulled together challenge, everything. From the fundamental structure of dog training to the secret self-healing frequency of a cat's purr.
And it all starts, I think, when we stop labeling our pets as bad and start looking at their environment. I was reading this great anecdote about an owner trying to walk her two dogs, Betty and Mickey, along the same old trail every single time.
And the dogs just stop.
They just sit down, refuse to move. And the owner was getting so frustrated thinking they were being disobedient or maybe, getting lazy in their senior years.
But then the owner, sort of out of desperation, just switched up the route.
And immediately they were enthusiastic, pulling ahead with all this energy.
The realization being they weren't naughty or sick, they were just bored.
Exactly. And that's the foundation of modern behavioral science, isn't it?
It is, recognizing that what we often misinterpret as defiance or dominance is really a cry for psychological enrichment, for better communication, or yes, sometimes just a change of scenery.
That sets up the most persistent and, frankly, the most damaging myth that still haunts dog training.
Oh, the dominance theory.
The idea that we must be the alpha, the pack leader.
Using control and confrontation to assert our status.
So where did that even come from?
What's so fascinating is that the entire concept of the alpha dog is, well, it's scientifically bankrupt. It originated from studies back in the 1970s of captive, unrelated wolves.
Okay, so they were just thrown together in an enclosure.
Exactly. In that stressful, totally unnatural environment, they had to fight to establish some kind of social order.
Which looked like aggression and dominance.
Of course. And that flawed observation, these stressed-out wolves in a cage, that became the blueprint for how humans should interact with their domestic dogs.
Which is a completely different species that evolved to live right alongside us.
Precisely. And modern research, including decades of observation by the very same biologists who pioneered those early concepts, has completely refuted the alpha idea.
So what do natural wolf packs actually look like?
They operate as cooperative, functional family units. The leaders are essentially the parents. They guide, they teach, they care for the young. They don't control through aggression.
And some of the details from the sources really make this powerful. It's not a dog standing over food to claim it.
No, not at all. Wolf biologists see the parental leaders often surveying from the back of the pack while traveling. They'll let younger or more timid members lead.
And they let the young eat first when food is scarce.
Yes, it's a model of stewardship and generosity, not, forced control. The problem is when trainers apply those dominance tactics to our dogs.
Like the alpha roles or harsh punishments.
These are fear-based tactics. They completely fail to address the root cause of the behavior. And even worse, they just destroy the trust in that human-canine bond.
So, okay, the dog growls at the table. We've been told that growling over food is dominance.
Or challenging the leader. But behaviors like growling are almost always rooted in anxiety or resource guarding.
Which is a symptom of fear.
Right. So if you punish the dog for growling, they learn that the warning signal is unsafe. So next time, they just skip the warning.
And go straight to biting.
Punishment escalates fear. It leads to defensive aggression. The goal should be to build communication and safety, not enforce submission.
What about all those specific alpha rules, then? Like you have to eat first, you must go through the door first.
They just don't hold up. Take the doorway rule. Doorways are, they're man-made. They have no social meaning to a dog or a wolf.
You teach door manners for safety, right, so they don't knock you over.
Exactly. You use positive reinforcement so the dog sits patiently. Forcing the issue with fear doesn't teach respect. It just teaches the dog to fear you at the doorway.
And the furniture rule. The idea that allowing a dog on the couch elevates their status.
The sources are really clear on this. Neither dogs nor wolves use elevated positions to infer social meaning. A wolf might claim a higher spot, like a rock, for better visibility, or maybe for warmth. It's not a social
So it's
challenge.
really just a personal house rule.
It's purely personal, unless the dog has developed a specific, aggressive, guarding behavior over that spot. It's not about status. It's about boundaries and safety.
So the modern science-backed approach is to just abandon that dominance model.
And replace it with trust, clear communication, and what's called operant conditioning.
Which is, simply put, learning through consequences.
That's it. You use positive reinforcement, rewarding the behavior you want to see, to teach the dog that good things happen when they do what you ask. They're not trying to rule the house. They're just great students of our behavior, learning what works.
You're creating a partnership.
A partnership based on predictability and psychological safety.
Okay, shifting from behavior to the brain, let's tackle that other great canine myth. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Ah, yes. It's such an easy excuse to just retire your senior dog from mental challenges right when they need it most.
And the science here is actually, it's so hopeful.
It is. This old adage is unequivocally debunked because dogs, just like us, possess neuroplasticity.
Let's just break that down for a second. What does neuroplasticity actually mean here?
It's the brain's ability to constantly reorganize itself, to form new neural pathways and connections throughout its entire life.
So the brain isn't just fixed when they become an adult.
It's not at all. Canine cognition studies confirm they retain this ability well into their senior years. It's constantly ready to adapt and learn.
That's absolutely fascinating. The sources explain that new input, so new tricks, new trails, anything that forces the dog to think instead of just react.
It releases dopamine, and this actively helps break that cycle of autopilot.
What do you mean by autopilot?
Well, when a dog or a person is stuck in the same routine, the brain defaults to the most efficient, deeply ingrained pathways.
And those can include unhealthy reactions like fear?
Or the fight or flight response, yes.
Yeah.
By introducing new challenges, we're literally creating fresh pathways, which increases the dog's adaptability and resilience.
So we're not just talking about parlor tricks. This is about systemic health.
Absolutely. Improved learning, memory, cognitive health. It's all linked to mitigating conditions like canine dementia, chronic illness, even PTS.
The data seems to back this up, too.
It does. The large-scale dog aging project found that, yes, while some cognitive decline can happen after age 6, older dogs often compensate with an unexpected advantage.
Which is?
Improved focus and attention spans during training, especially compared to their younger, much more easily distracted counterparts.
That is a huge advantage. So if we're training a senior dog, the limitations aren't really mental.
No, they're physical. Older dogs often have better impulse control and emotional maturity, which makes them great students.
We just have to adapt the method.
Precisely. Low-impact activities for dogs with arthritis, making sure surfaces aren't slippery, using really high-value treats to keep them motivated.
And keeping the session short.
Short and frequent, 5 to 10 minutes, a couple times a day. It prevents fatigue, but it maximizes that engagement.
All right, let's turn our attention now to our other, maybe more aloof companions. Let's tackle some feline myths.
Starting with the most iconic one.
The cat happily lapping up a saucer of milk. It's in every storybook.
And it's completely wrong. The myth endures because cats do love milk, but they crave the high-fat content in cream and whole milk. It aligns with their diet as obligate carnivores.
But the physiological reality is very different.
The reality is that most adult cats are severely lactose intolerant.
I think a lot of people assume since kittens drink milk, adult cats can too.
But that enzyme production just stops. After they're weaned, cats drastically reduce or stop producing the enzyme lactase, which you need to break down lactose sugar.
So when an adult cat drinks milk, that sugar just sits there.
It passes undigested to the large intestine.
Where it ferments.
Yes, and that fermentation leads directly to some pretty acute symptoms. Hateful gas, severe cramping, vomiting, diarrhea. Milk is not a treat.
It's an upset stomach waiting to happen.
Fresh, clean water is all they need.
Okay, now for one of the biggest feline mysteries. The purr. For years, we all thought cats only purr when they're happy.
Which is a massive oversimplification. The purr is so much more complex than just a sign of happiness.
So what is it?
It's a multi-purpose survival and healing mechanism. Yes, cats purr when they're content, but they also purr when they're severely anxious, when they're injured, or when they're in intense pain.
It's a form of self-soothing.
A critical one. Mother cats even use it to guide their blind and deaf kittens to them.
Wait, so my cat's purr could be a little internal physiotherapy session. When it's stressed, tell us about the mechanism.
That's a great way to put it. The research suggests that's exactly what it is. The purr is generated by the rapid twitching of their laryngeal muscles, which creates therapeutic vibrations,
At a specific frequency?
typically between 25 and 150 hertz. And that range is not accidental. It directly correlates with clinically established ranges used in therapeutic vibration for bone and tissue healing in mammals.
That is incredible. So let's break that down. The sources say the lower range, like 25 to 50 hertz.
That actively stimulates bone cell regeneration and fracture healing.
And the upper range, 50 to 150 hertz.
That aids in soft tissue and wound repair. It's a low metabolic cost way for the cat to constantly condition and repair its own body.
Which is essential for a solitary predator.
They need to heal quickly to survive.
And the benefit even crosses species. I read that listening to a purring cat can actually lower our blood pressure.
It can. It can lower human blood pressure and decrease stress hormones like cortisol. It's mutual wellness.
So the takeaway for the listener is, if your cat is purring, it doesn't just mean I am happy.
No, it means I am trying to manage my state, whether that state is contentment or severe pain.
One last dangerous cat myth. They always land on their feet, so falls aren't a big deal.
Ugh, this one is so dangerous. While the righting reflex is a real biological adaptation, it absolutely does not grant invincibility.
Veterinarians call it high-rise syndrome.
They do. From a significant height, the cat suffers severe injuries, broken limbs, shattered jaws, serious thoracic trauma. The kinetic energy upon impact is just too much for their small body, even if they land on their paws.
Secure your windows.
Secure your windows and balconies. Prevention is mandatory.
Okay, we have to move now to the most critical section, toxicological traps in the home. This is where ignoring science can be deadly.
And it often starts with that myth that if something is natural, it must be safe.
Which is unequivocally false.
It's such a dangerous assumption. Many natural substances are fatals. Strychnine comes from plants. A perfect example is the belief that mixing garlic into food is a natural way to repel fleas.
That's actively harmful folklore.
It is. Garlic, along with onions and chives, the whole allium species, they cause gastrointestinal irritation, sure, but the critical danger is that they cause oxidative damage to red blood cells.
Leading to a potentially fatal anemia.
Yes, hemolytic anemia. And cats are particularly susceptible.
So, if we look at the big picture, the biggest threats are from things designed for humans.
Highly concentrated things. We need absolute vigilance with two compounds in particular. First, xylitol.
The artificial sweetener, it's in everything now.
Sugar-free gum, candy, some peanut butters, baked goods, toothpaste.
And why is xylitol so much more dangerous to dogs than other sweeteners?
In dogs, it's absorbed very rapidly and triggers a massive, inappropriate release of insulin from the pancreas,
Which causes a life-threatening drop in blood sugar.
a condition called hypoglycemia. If it's not treated immediately, it can lead to seizures, coma, and often, within 24 hours, irreversible liver failure.
And it doesn't take much.
A few sticks of gum can be lethal to a small dog.
That is terrifying. Just leaving a pack of gum on the counter. What about chocolate? We all know it's bad, but how bad?
Chocolate contains methylxanthines, theobromine, and caffeine. They're potent central nervous system stimulants.
So they cause hyperactivity, abnormal heart rhythm, seizures.
Exactly. The danger level really depends on the type of chocolate. Baking chocolate and cocoa powder have the highest concentration, the highest risk. White chocolate has the lowest.
And of course, grapes and raisins.
Extremely dangerous. Grapes, raisins, currants, they're all known to cause acute kidney failure in dogs. We still don't know the exact toxic component, but we know there's no safe dose.
So any ingestion requires immediate vet intervention.
Immediately, to prevent organ damage. Then you have things like fat trimmings and raw dough,
Right, fat trimmings can cause pancreatitis.
a very painful inflammation of the pancreas. And raw yeast dough is a double threat.
Yeah.
First, the yeast keeps rising in the warm stomach, causing bloat and a rupture risk,
And second, the fermentation produces alcohol.
leading to rapid alcohol toxicity.
We have to debunk this last one, that milk is the universal antidote to poisoning.
It is absolutely not a cure-all. It can dilute some substances, but it also causes digestive upset and, more importantly, wastes critical time.
Time is the decisive factor.
It is. Do not Google home remedies. Don't try to induce vomiting without professional guidance. The only reliable first step is to get immediate professional help. Call your vet or the ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center immediately.
That number needs to be in every pet owner's phone. Please write this down. The APCC is 8888-426-4435. Don't hesitate.
So if we look back at this whole deep dive, we've really traded a damaging mythology for an evidence-based partnership.
Yeah. We've replaced that outdated dominance model with trust.
recognizing our dogs as cooperative family members. And we've learned that the canine brain is capable of lifelong learning because of neuroplasticity.
And my favorite part, we discovered the cat's purr is actually a sophisticated, low-cost healing frequency, vital for their survival.
And most critically, we identified those household poisons, xylitol, the allium species, grapes, that require absolute vigilance.
Because in those cases, folklore can be fatal.
I think our final takeaway has to be the importance of approaching pet care with evidence-based knowledge, viewing our companions as the complex emotional partners they are.
And not just subjects of old, convenient stories.
That commitment to understanding their true physiological and psychological needs, that's the core of responsible ownership.
So since we learned that the cat's purr is a low metabolic cost way to self-heal and reduce stress, and that bored dogs show physiological signs of stagnant neural pathways, what other innate low-level coping mechanisms are our animals using every day to manage their physical and mental health that we haven't even begun to fully understand? It's something to consider the next time your dog settles down for a long chew, or your cat just curls up and starts to rumble.